smell of bread, probably got to be one of the top 3 smells you could ever smell in the world. One of the things that I remember was coming back to the house or the farm, coming in the door, and there was that smell of fresh bread.
Today I'm going to make bread. Now a lot of people just use flour, salt, and yeast, but I always start with 2 cups of oatmeal, 1 tablespoon of salt, half a cup of flaxseed, which is good for you, half a cup of brown sugar, and then I add, I've got some bacon fat here, what I say after cooking, a couple of tablespoons of that in here. And now I will pour boiling water. Hot water melts the fat and it helps to break down the oatmeal. I'm going to add some cold water to this so that I can add the yeast right now to hurry it up. 2 cups of whole wheat flour. To have it the right temperature. Test it with my finger, like testing milk for if you're going to feed a baby. This is the most work of making bread, is mixing it up, adding the flour till it's the right consistency. One time when I was on the island visiting Tony, my goddaughter, I made bread and it was sitting on the counter, and then after I checked it, it was just like it was dead. There was no yeast activity. So when she came home, she went and got some new yeast, and I just added it to what was there. Went ahead and mixed it all up, and it turned out okay. I didn't waste anything. That's good. It's not too warm now. I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of Fleischmann's yeast. And normally I let it sit and, let it work a bit, but I can just add the flour till it's thick enough. Here's the dough with all the flour. Probably about 7 cups of white flour and 5 cups of brown. And they're still a little sticky, so I'm just going to add some sunflower oil around the edges here. It's easier to handle, it won't stick to my hands. Hold this in. Now I'm going to lift it up and turn it over. There we are. Here's the bread dough. Now we're going to let it sit in the sun where it's nice and warm. Take at least an hour to rise up.
There's nothing better than having fresh bread with butter and you got your honey on there.
So here's the bread that's been sitting for an hour and a half. It's rising up again, and so I'm going to punch it down. So this is how I do that. Take some of the air bubbles out of it. Now I'm going to let it sit again, and it'll come up again, and then I'll make it into loaves. Nice soft dough. I'm going to make like half a loaf, 2 half of those in the pan. So when I get one out of the fridge, I have fresher bread all the time from one spoon. There you are here. Half a loaf, another one. There we are. A little bump. Now I'm going to make some bread buns, just cut up enough for this pan. Just roll them with the base of your hand there. This bread has been rising about 45 minutes and now it's ready to be put in the oven. We're on the last lap here. The bread has gone in the oven. It's going to be in there for 35 minutes to cook at 395 degrees Fahrenheit. Here's the first thing out of the oven. That's the buns. One little loaf. That's a big one. Now, turn these out. This is the inside of the loaf. And you just press it like that and it's soft as down. And it'll be just yummy.
That was kind of that. I remember eating my sandwich and looking out over a field to Blackburn, thinking, you know, I gotta go back to school. But for right now, I'm having my moment.